You know, Al, that's funny that you're asking that question because the title actually says it's fun for a girl or a boy, and I'm going, what kind of perverted tract is he leading us through? But I'm glad that you touched on the subject matter of stress. Unfortunately, I have to agree with you on many levels. But in North America, compared to other countries that actually put their literal nose to the grindstone, we have a very relaxed life, regardless of how we try to put it. We don't work 7-day work weeks or 6-day work weeks. We don't push ourselves to excel as much as many other countries. Some people are capable of doing it, some can't. I know myself, I prefer to have 5 days work, 2 days off, but I usually fill up my weekends doing volunteer work or having time off with friends or go running towards another activity. It's all a matter of perspective. If you step back from the forest, you'll eventually see the trees. And vice versa, all depending on how it happens to you. But if you don't take the time to actually smell any of the roses or flowers along your current path in life, there's no point. This isn't a highway, and life, unfortunately, is made to enjoy it because it's very short, very sweet, and very bittersweet in some cases. And if we don't take time to actually enjoy ourselves, we won't be able to remember this life, I guess, when we go up and meet our heavenly maker or whoever you believe in. I do know one thing, though. A lot of children are forced by their parents into becoming child geniuses or becoming something that they were not in their childhoods or in their young adult lives. And sometimes parents who decide to sacrifice themselves for their kids actually put more stress on the kids than the kids will ever put on themselves. Homework, I'm sorry, everybody has to go through school, high school, grade school, senior. If you want to go after that into college or university degree, just make sure that you're comfortable with what you're deciding for yourselves, even if your parents are paying the bills or if you're getting anything in regards to student loans. You're the one who's going to finalize how you finish it. I took too many courses when I was growing up, and I actually kowtowed to my mom, and well, more my dad than my mom, because I wanted to take a year off, kind of a sabbatical, to find out what I wanted to do and actually go work at McDonald's or go work at a low-paying minimum wage job, just so I could actually feel what it meant working a job, period. One that wasn't scholarly related. But toys, I think that today's toys, unfortunately, are electronic, and it shouldn't be that way. I remember playing with Legos when I was growing up, and yes, I have to agree with you, they were not as complicated as what they are now. Heck, I remember constructs when I was growing up. It used to be building blocks that you could snap together and make these houses, these trucks, these trains. You just needed to have the wheels and the actual pieces, and you could build anything with your imagination. Apart from that, Meccano, I couldn't hack Meccano. I had to follow plans, and it ended up being an IKEA set from hell for me when I was a child. The Slinky never lived long enough for me to actually enjoy it, because I always ended up, for some odd reason, taking the Slinky and somehow tying up a toy horse that I remember having. You know, one of those horsies that you have on springs. When I was actually growing up, somebody in my family gave one to me and my brother, and we'd always end up taking the actual Slinky and bending it out of shape. I mean, we were cruel to our toys. I remember G.I. Joe figurines when I was growing up, the originals, not the new ones. I also remember WrestleMania figurines when I was growing up. The good old Hulk Hogan, Randy Macho Man Savage, Andre the Giant, the Sheik. I'm trying to think of Leapin' Laney Popo. All those original WWE figures for me. Trying to think what else. toy-wise, Rubik's Cubes, I couldn't hack my Rubik's Cube. The Rubik's puzzle actually was more entertaining for me. Puzzles galore when I was growing up. Transformers, and I do mean the die-cast Transformers, not the plastic shit we're now getting today that I just don't like it. It doesn't have the weight. It doesn't have the feel. It doesn't have anything worth actually taking into consideration anymore. Voltron figurines, both the car and the Lion sets, when I was around 10 years old. My brother was about 7. And then there's another one which I can't remember, where you had vehicles that would transform themselves into completely different vehicles. I can't remember what it was. They also have a short-lived cartoon series that went with it. And I remember I had a truck. I had the full-blown truck where you actually popped it open and it had a cannon with a friggin' missile about like yay long, solid plastic. That it wasn't a good idea purchasing it, because if I got angry at my brother, I just took the solid missile and chucked it at him, and it actually hurt quite a lot. But a lot of the games that I used to play, like if you live in the city, it's difficult because you can't really go play hide and seek. But when you live in a small town, when you're growing up, like I did, you could actually go out and play in the middle of the night. Play what we called chevreuil, which is basically hide and seek in the dark, where there's a hunter with a flashlight, and then the rest of you are all deer, and you have to hide. Hopefully not too far, and you put boundaries. And then you go hunting. Unfortunately, doing that at night also means that you're actually putting yourself at risk if you don't know the area, and if you don't know if there's any objects that could hurt you, or any pitfalls or holes or whatnot that you're not familiar with. Kick the can. I remember that when I was a kid. Hide and go seek. I remember that when I was growing up. Kick the can was a version of hide and go seek, which is basically you find the people, and then there's someone that eventually kicks the can out of the area. The person hunting for the others has to actually run to the can, put their foot down in the can, and name the first name of the person. Basketball when I was growing up. I hated basketball. I hated softball and baseball, soccer, the same thing. No, I mean, you found your fun. And somewhere around my mid-teens to early teens to mid-teens, I actually had a passion for firing pellet guns at objects put at a distance. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Well, that's pretty much it. But yes, unfortunately, the children can be overly stressed, but mostly because of the parents that they have, and the stress of the parents actually rubbing off on the children, especially if it's a single mom or single dad raising the child. And economic stress doesn't bode well nowadays. It affects everyone, including children, even if we don't think it does. So anyways, my 2 cents, or $20. Anyways, have a nice one out.